suicide is at historical record-breaking rates, anxiety, depression, and you even see the ripple effect of that in other symptoms. So you see a lot of complacency, mediocrity, a lot of passivity across Christian men, non-Christian men. You see it with the first responder, military, LEO community, but you also see it outside of that community. Just in like our local community, there's been some shocking suicides this year from the outside perspective, from guys that looked like they were living the American dream. So like for those people that are out there now that are struggling for all these different reasons, what do you usually tell those guys to kind of start finding a way out? What are some of their action steps?
Well, I'll answer that to two different demographics. One is the leaders in communities. I'll answer that, and then to the people struggling. So first to the people in the communities, like the reason that we're dealing with this is seeing an increase. This is my opinion, not only my opinion, my observation, and this is the space that I work in every single day. It's because of one of the words you said. It's passivity and cowardness. We as a culture have become passive, and I think specifically, I could speak to my own community, the Christian community, we become cowards. When a pastor of a church can't stand in a pulpit and openly speak against the sexualization of children, that's beyond passivity. That's cowardice. And it's reckless and it's wrong. But when a pastor can't speak about the sanctity of life because he's bought into the lie that's political and conceded to it's political and a taboo subject, then he should step off the pulpit and do something else. And the fact that we have so-called Christian leaders in communities that won't speak to these cultural topics that deteriorate the moral and mental health of our communities, it's no surprise that we see people living in depression and confusion and anxiety. And it's no surprise that we see people listening to voices that aren't cowards, right? The people on the other side, the people that are screaming, we need to be in the libraries reading as drag queens reading books to these children. They're not cowards. They're evil and they're twisted and they're sick, but they're not passive and they're not cowards. They're screaming their cause from the rooftops. They're fighting for their cause. They're gluing themselves to the streets and risking being run over because they're so passionate about our cause. But we have pastors that are standing on pulpits that won't even speak the truth.
Won't address it.
So we could blame the left. We could blame wokeism. We could blame evil people. We could blame Satan. But the blame, in acceptance responsibility should be in a Christian community that's passive and don't have the courage to speak up. So if we want to talk about the moral decline and the mental health decline in our communities, we should look to ourselves and have the courage to speak up and not be bullied by these people with these evil agendas.
Yeah,
that's one. And for those who have succumbed to that, and look, I have a point in my life too. I believed the lie that I was better off, my family was better off with me not being here. That's not true. It is a lie. It's a whispering of an enemy in your ear saying you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not worthy enough, you have no more purpose, you have no more value. It's that whispering in your ear of the enemy who's trying to keep you up from being who God created you to be. God has a plan and purpose for your life. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I have a plan for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future." That's a promise to God to those who step in a relationship with him. And for everyone, you're not exempt of that. Now that promise doesn't exempt you of hardship. It just says God has a promise and for you. And so the enemy knows that God has a plan and purpose for you. And if you step into it, you can be a world changer. If you step into God's plan and purpose for you, you're going to be a world changer and a kingdom builder. And the enemy knows that. So he's whispering in your ear that you're not good enough. And when you believe that, then you go into that you believe that lie, then you step into that place do you believe that I need to make a permanent decision to very temporary problems. And that's exactly what it is, a permanent decision of very temporary problems. The problems that will pass you, that season will pass you. And if you lean forward into that plan and purpose God has for you, you will do incredible things. I'm convinced of it. That's why God lets you have breath in your lungs, because he knows that you're capable of still being part of his plan. And you have to know that regardless of what whispering you hear in your ear, what you're hearing, that there is hope, there is purpose, there is a future. No matter how it feels right now, it's just not reality. There is hope, there is purpose, there is a future, as hopeless as it may feel. And connect with others, connect with the right people, look at those pillars, and be intentional about those pillars, right? If you're not where you need to be in the right mindset, do things to get yourself in the right mindset. If you're not physically healthy and you feel depressed because of your physical health, then get physically healthy. If you're not surrounded by the right people, man, maybe they'll come to you, but maybe you need to seek them out. Find a God-loving church and a Bible-believing church. Get plugged in. Find people that are like-minded to you and lock arms with them. And most importantly, if you don't have a strong spiritual foundation, right, in those 4 pillars, then I challenge you to step into a relationship with Jesus and seek to live the life that you were created to live. And it may sound like an evangelical plug, and it is, because I believe that for everybody, and I was there myself, and my life did not turn to be fruitful until I rounded out all 4 of those pillars. And I honestly, it is all 4 of them, right? If you have a strong spiritual foundation, but you sleep 2 hours a day, you eat 1 meal at McDonald's a day, and you lay on your couch and watch Netflix, like, you're probably not going to be a very productive or happy person. Like, I do believe all 4 of these pillars exist, and so be honest about it. Be honest with yourself. Inventory yourself. Be honest. And if you're weak in any of those 4 pillars, be intentional about strengthening. There's one of the great things about 2024. And there's a lot of bad things about it, but one of the great things, there's no shortage of resources, man.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to be inspired, there's a lot of podcasts out there. If you want to know biblical truths, there's a lot of information out there. If you want to read a book, everybody's author. There's lots of books, and there's so many ways to be, plugged in and tuned in and be intentional about getting on the right track.